This is the one small area, village, which is located in the border region of India and Pakistan, in the Rajasthan region. Because of the air base, recently in the war means what, the tussle that happened between India and Pakistan under the operation called as Operation Sindoor, where this particular air base was mentioned. In 2022, India's GDP is this much. In 2023, GDP is much more than 2020. Means what, economic development has happened. How GDP will be giving the measurement of the development in the case of economy, on the same lines in the case of agricultural development. In the case of agricultural development, what is more important is understanding the cropping patterns. How much percent of pharmaceuticals of USA, on which the USA is depending on India, around some 40%. Whenever you are comparing the productivities of the milk here in India and the Western European region, especially the countries like Denmark. Denmark is known for the milk and the milk products, right? One cattle per time, I'm not talking about per day, one cattle in the morning or evening will be giving minimum of 20 liters of milk. In India, the same 20 liters of milk will be given by at least, if at all it is a very, very fertile area, fertile breed, minimum 5 cattle will be giving 20 liters of milk. 1:5 ratio.
Congratulations on clearing UPSC 2024. Watching you succeed is really inspiring.
Thanks. I have been in your shoes. I know how overwhelming the start feels.
Exactly. There's so much to cover, I don't even know where to begin.
I felt the same. That's why I joined the GS Foundation course by Vision Eyes, which offers structured classes, expert faculty, and regular revision. It gave me clarity and momentum.
And you stayed consistent with it?
Yes, I followed the complete roadmap offered by the course. If you're aiming for 2026, start with this course. It offers you holistic coverage with every stage of the exam covered seamlessly. This is where your journey will truly begin.
Got it. I will definitely explore the course. Where can I find the details?
Just visit their website or call on the given numbers.
Yes, good evening all. So some new faces are there. Maximum old faces are there. Good to see you again. How are you all? Good? Now see this one. Yesterday we have completed what is called as the Geography Optional Paper 1 test discussion. Now today let us move to the Indian part. What is this Indian part? And in fact, when you are seeing the papers, comparing the papers between paper 1 and paper 2, paper 1 is a little bit concept oriented and all these the static things, wherever the concepts which are given by the geographers, you need to represent the same things as it is. But whereas the paper 2 is the one where you can apply your concepts. Whatever the concepts of paper 1 are there, You can apply the concepts in the paper 2 and you can show your creativity and thereby you can get maximum marks. Which paper in which you can get the maximum marks? It is in the paper 2. Even in the paper 1, which part, the shift has happened from the physical part to the human part more, right? Even the same trend is found even in the GS also. So you need to spend very great time on the human part. Like specifically, any question is there with respect to the human geography, especially the geographical thought, never skip the question. In fact, in our classes, we have explained in detail, even the notes was dictated very precisely about the different approaches like humanism, welfareism, behavioralism, right? Student needs to spend more time in the geographical thought. Whereas, normally what is geography is believed to be everyone, everyone feels like geography itself is a physical part. The people have equated geography is the physical part. But the trend right now, where you can get more marks, though it is there in the physical part, but whoever is having the greater command in the geographical thought part, they will be given more marks. Like, the best example, what was the example, what happened in the recent past? One topper who got the ranks, who got the marks more than 320 place, in one of her interview, what she was explaining, I got so great marks probably because of I have given more emphasis on the human part. I have attempted all the answers, all the questions which are related to the geographical thought. Since we can have a selection, like, you can go for choosing the answers, what type of answers you can go for. There are 4 in the section 1, 4 questions are there in the section 2, but you need to write only, the option is there where you can skip 2 questions, right? And so, she has selected precisely the human part, and so especially the geographical thought part, and what she was predicting that probably I got more score because I have attempted the geographical thought questions. That is what the answer given. And so see the importance of the geographical thought. Don't underestimate the third part, right? The third part. Now coming to our optional paper 2. In fact, the first and foremost one, the syllabus, as such, yesterday we have shown all the syllabus and the trend, how it is changing and all these things. Let us not go into this one. 2 papers, physical part, human part. This is the part I'm talking about. More emphasis should be there on the perspectives, right? Everything needs to be connected to the perspective. Whatever the question that comes needs to be connected with the perspectives, and it's not like intentionally you need to forcefully connect. Whenever the mind says that yes, it is the part which is connected to that one, then you need to mention that one in the answer, right? Then let us move to the part which is called as the first question. Every year, normally this part is the one which is somewhat trickiest part. But for the past 2-3 years, the names, whatever the places they were asked, they are of reasonably good, easy in nature. But this year, UPSC has taken revenge. Right, many of the places where the places are not known, basically, hardly can, you may be knowing maybe 3 or 4, right? When we are seeing, don't expect that we are going to write all the 10 map pointings. And at the same time, you need to keep up your confidence level. It is just for one question which carries some 20 marks. No need to pay attention much on this one. Though you are preparing extensively, even in the classes, we will be giving some of the important, the places, the key places in the classes, regular classes, we will be mentioning the important key places. What are the important key places that are present in the news, and all these things will be explained. Though the preparation is there, yet don't give much emphasis on this one. Many of the students, they feel like if at all we are not writing the right answers for all these places, probably the answers which are written by us in the later half will not be evaluated properly. No, don't have such type of preconceived notions, and it is completely the psychological mind game. Whenever you are not going for writing all the 10, probably you might have written only 4. If not, at least just 4. Be confident, yes, 4. I have written 4 answers, means what? The 4 pointers have been identified, and so I'll be getting 8 marks. Nothing more than that one, right? Then you need to go to the second question with the, means what, the next question with the full confidence. Don't get trapped here itself. Because these places, many of the times, you may find the new places, right? Though no matter whatever the number of places you refer in your class notes, maybe in the newspaper, there will be some point or the other point which is not known to you. Because India is such a vast country, they can pick up anywhere, from anywhere. Don't lose confidence. My suggestion is don't lose confidence. So, this part is the one where the trap is there. If we can write at least 3, 4, more than sufficient. Right? Keep telling to your mind, if at all I am writing 4, much more than sufficient. 3, yes, well good. If at all less than 3, don't lose confidence. You need to go to the second part, right? These are the important points where sometimes, last year it was very easy. Almost all people have written 9 out of 10. Last before also the people have maintained the same tempo. But this year, UPSC has suppressed. Sometimes it happens, maybe, probably next year also, the same type of conditions may be there, right? And so, don't lose hopes whenever you are not having the idea about these things, then you need to get more marks in the other part, right? Rishikulja River, a very important and the ancient river that is present in the state of Odisha. At the same time, it is known for what is called as early Ridley turtles. Nesting places. What these olive ridley nesting places are called as? What is the term given in the ecology? The name of the places where the nesting happens. Wherever the nesting happens, what these places are called as? They are called as, do you remember? Aribada. What are aribadas? Aribadas are the places where you can find huge mass nesting of the olive ridley turtles, right? Aribadas. This is one of the very important aribada. What is aribada? Nothing but the place where you can go for, you can have more number of the colonies of nesting of the olive ridley turtles. This is what the one. Then Datar Hills of Gujarat, where you can find some of the pilgrimage centers which is located in the Girnar mountains of Gujarat, right? You can find the pilgrimage of both the religions like Jainism is there, also the Hinduism temples are there. Then Kikruma, this is what the place I got struck up. I was thinking Kikruma, where is this Kikruma? And I referred with all the previous knowledge, never I got. Finally, need to type. When I typed, killing my ego, then it came up, a small village in the state of Nagaland, which is having the very ancient method of harvesting the rainwater, where the information was given. That is the reason. Don't go to the ego, feeling like, I know many things. Because extensive travel almost all entire, each and every nook and corner of India. And so, whenever you are having the practical knowledge, definitely you will be having that ego like, I know this place, I know that place, I know that place. Kikruma, who knows? Right? And so, no need to feel bad about this one. If you don't know, leave it, right? Then, in fact, this Tilaya, what I thought of earlier, Tilaya, in fact, these are the 4 dams that were constructed on the Damodar Valley. In fact, the concept called as Damodar Valley Corporation. Soon after the independence, we have taken the project as a war footing basis, because what was the first 5-year plan emphasizing on the agriculture. And so in order to make the nation food secured, the government of India, though we have very little resources, we have gone for implementing Damodar Valley Corporation on the lines of TVC. In the classes we have mentioned this one, Tennessee Valley Corporation. The concept of America was brought here and we have implemented. And 4 dams were constructed. What are the 4 dams that were constructed on the Damodar River in order to tame Damodar? Tilaya, Maithan, Panchet, and Konar. These are the 4 dams that were constructed. I thought Tilaya is the one which is related to that particular dam. But when I again tap this one, it is telling that, it is the one which is called as the coal mining area in the Jharkhand, right? Probably that is the area which is located to the Tilaya Dam itself, right? This is what the area. Then this is very famous where the people can write this one, because Bailalu is the very great area where the ISRO has established the satellite antenna is there, where they will be monitoring the space programs. The ISRO's monitoring center is there in the Bailalu, which is located very close to the Bangalore city, the outskirts of the Bangalore city. Then Nayar is also very popular. Nayar is the river that is present in the down south, where you can find the river city called as Thiruvananthapuram. On the coast of this one, you can find the city called as the capital city of Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram. Nayar river. This is also important. This Uttarali, current related part. This is the one small area, village, which is located in the border region of India and Pakistan, in the Rajasthan region. Because of the air base recently in the war means what, the tussle that happened between India and Pakistan under the operation called as Operation Sindoor, where this particular air base was mentioned. And so probably this can be this was asked here as a map pointing, right? Then this was expected. What is this one expected? Sri Vijaypuri, the new capital city, means what? New capital means what? The renamed of the Port Blair, with Sri Vijaypuri. This was expected. And so it is there. Then Darwas, it was again only for those people who are in the trekking mood and all these people, the people will be writing this in Darwar. I thought like, it was Darwar rocks. Again, it was not Darwar rock. When I typed this one, Darwas is the name of a town that is located in the northernmost point of the Himachal Pradesh. Right? Trekking, see, this is the one which I went wrong. Then this is the one I went wrong. This is the one I went wrong. Having put in the geographical subject where I was right now, this is the 17th year of my teaching. Yet, if the three are going wrong, the three places are going wrong, even, this one also, very frankly, this one also, miss what, the next one is there. The fourth one, when four are wrong, don't expect you to complete all the 10. Sometimes it happens, 10 out of 10 you can write. It's not the one. But what my point is, even if you go wrong, don't lose confidence. Because this is the first question. Whenever you are losing confidence in the very first step, definitely the impact will be carried forward. And so, tell to your mind comfortably, saying that even if I go wrong in this one, I'm not going to carry this same tempo in the next answer. Right? Meaning what? I should not carry the same feeling in the next question, right? And so, what my suggestion is, if you can write 4, if you can identify 4 places, much more than sufficient. If your luck is good, you can extend up to 10. Minimum of 4, you can easily mark this one, right? This is about the first question. The first question is basically a test of your psychological stability. Is it clear? It's not the test of how many places you roamed, how many places you read, how many places you have visited, how many places you come to know about the places in the news. It's not the test. The test of how strong you are psychologically. This is the one. Right? The next one. After this one, the second one. Let us move to the second, first B part. What is this B part? And all the questions that were asked are very simple except the first one. Right? All they are sufficiently good, you can find the easiness. Whoever has prepared well definitely can score more than 160, 170. This is what the paper 2. Definitely can go for more than 150, 160, even 170 also. Right? The second one, 1B, referring to the location on the physical formation of caravans, highlight their economical significance. Many times even forget about the optional classes. We discussed many times, even in the GS, caravans. What are these caravans? Caravans are, what are these caravans? Okay, we need to change this one. Yeah. Now see this one. Whenever you are seeing the Himalayas, the greater Himalayas, then these are the lesser Himalayas. In between the greater Himalayas and the lesser Himalayas, the elevated valleys which acted as a remnant of the Tethys Sea, these are the lakes that are present. Through these lakes, what is there in this lake? You can find unconsolidated, meaning what? It's not unsegregated, not consolidated, unsegregated. You can find the sediments which are of different sizes. You can find the sediments which are of silt, clay, mud, pebble, gravel. You can find n number of unsegregated sediments like this one. Because these are the ancient lakes which are the remnant parts of the Tethys Sea which got elevated vertically up and lying between the greater Himalayas and the lesser Himalayas. When these lake-like structures through which the rivers are draining, the rivers they are there in the young stage, when these rivers enters into this one, again they deposit some more unsegregated sediments. Because of these unsegregated sediments, they get filled up and forms a unique soil called as Karevas. This is what the Karevas, where you can find in the western part of the Himalayas. It is found only in the western part of the Himalayas, and what is the economic significance? This particular soil is very, very fertile, and at the same time you can find the unique species, exotic species can be grown here. The first and foremost, very best example for the exotic variety of species, where nowhere else in the India you can find such type of species except the cultivation happening only in this area called as saffron. A variety of saffron. It is exclusively cultivated here. The knowledge, see this one, what you need to explain after the moment, once you start explaining the saffrons are cultivated in the Kareva soils, the very important point you need to mention here is, this particular knowledge is the traditional knowledge. What is this traditional knowledge? Is TK, it's popularly called as TK. What is TK? Nothing but the traditional knowledge. The knowledge how the people got imparted, how they got the knowledge of cultivating this saffron, where this cultivating technique was not explained anywhere in the agricultural universities. That is not taught in the colleges of agriculture colleges. Nowhere else the knowledge is imparted. But how the people are having that knowledge of cultivating saffron, it is imparted from heredity, from generation to generation, where the knowledge is being imparted. Such type of sites are called as globally identified agricultural heritage sites. According to FAO, according to the United Organization called as Food and Agricultural Organization, there are hardly some few, less than 100 such globally identified agricultural heritage sites. Out of these less than 100 globally identified agricultural heritage sites, one of the important sites that is present in India is Kareva soils. In the local language they are called as Karevas. What is the name that is given in the English language? It's called as lacustrine deposits. This is called as lacustrine deposits. These are the deposits that are highly useful for the cultivation of exotic products. Like one is saffron. Not only the products like spices like saffron, also you can find some of the very important products that are cultivated, which are horticultural products. Like you can find the cultivation of almonds, you can find the cultivation of apples, you can find the cultivation of walnuts, which are very well known in the Kashmir region. And all these are cultivated only in the western part of the Himalayas, not in the entire Himalayan belt. These, because of, why only in the western side? Because the Karevas developed only in the western side. The lacustrine soil is present strictly only in that particular region along the banks of river Jhelum. This is what the lacustrine soil, right? Nothing but the Kareva soils, where you can find only in the western side. Economic significance, you can find the greater exotic varieties products. These are the things. You need to mention some of the important points, like United Nations Agricultural Food and Agricultural Organization. This is one of the very important agricultural heritage sites, globally identified agricultural heritage site called as Kareva soil. What are the other two important sites? Total in India, there are 3 such sites are there. One is Karevas of Jammu and Kashmir. The other 2 are? Very good. One is Kuttanad in Kerala, second one. Another then is called as the Koraput agricultural practice in the Odisha, right? These are the three globally identified heritage sites. Whenever you are mentioning such type of unique aspects, definitely your answer becomes unique from the other people. You need to mention such type of the global aspects. Is it clear? These are Karavas. The first and foremost answer is with respect to the Karavas. The next one, after the Karavas, let us move to the next one. The next question, 1C. How does Himalayan ecosystem regulates the cropping pattern and agricultural activities in the Himalayan regions of India? Discuss. This is for 10 marks again. 10 marks means what? Directly shoot the answer with 10 points. More than sufficient. Sir, no sir, I have arrived only up to 8 points. Nothing wrong. We can write at least 8 points. More than sufficient. Don't kill much time, because the first question where you need to write in a form of bullet points and you need to clear as early as possible. Because you need to spend more time in the analysis part. Where you can find the analysis part? Second question, third question, fourth, then sixth, seventh, eighth, where the analysis is there, more analysis is there. They are completely the factual part. You can give the information just like that. Now see the question. The question is very direct. What is the question? The question is talking about how comes the Himalayan ecosystem is regulating the cropping pattern and the agricultural activities. Meaning what? See the point here. What is this one? Himalayan ecosystem. Ecosystem related to the physical part. Agricultural activity related to human part. Cropping patterns related to human part. Could you see the connectivity? Meaning what? Normally the nature will be determining the human's actions. What type of crop needs to be cultivated in what type of region? What type of command given by the nature whenever the people are going for the same command, which is called as the determinism? What is the possibilism where the man can hold the dictates of the nature? He can guide, he can change the dictates of the nature and he can go for his more, such type of activities which are more helpful for him, for the development of these people. Means what? Possibilism. The question is with respect to the physical part, how it is impacting the human part, but in the answer you need to talk about, it is the one which is the via media between determinism and the possibilism. This is what the one, right? The concept is called as how the ecosystems are managing the state of affairs for the people. Whoever they are staying in the Himalayan region, their economic activities are being managed by the Himalayan ecosystem. How? When we say it is Himalayan ecosystem, definitely high altitude. What type of cultivation happens? Terrace cultivation can happen. Moreover, because of low temperatures, high altitude, low temperature, because of low temperature, unique species can be grown. It's not like all the products that are grown on the plain areas, the same products can be grown here. Here you can find the type of paddy cultivation called as the dry paddy. Normally on the place you can find the cultivation of the wet paddy, but here dry paddy can be cultivated. Also in the dune areas you can find the very great fertility. The dune areas, do you remember the dune areas? The Himalayan ecosystem, nothing but the dune area. Where do you find the very great fertility of the soil in the Himalayan ecosystem? The dune areas, which are known for the cultivation of basmati, cultivation of unique products that are there, right? Also the horticultural products can be grown there. All these things, you can check all these agricultural activities based upon the ecosystem. At the same time, whenever you are talking about the cropping patterns, what do you mean by cropping pattern? Listen this one. This is very, very important. Always we people feel like cropping pattern is simply change in the type of crop that is cultivated in a region. What normally generally the people can understand about the cropping pattern is what type of crops are cultivated. What type of crops are cultivated in one particular region during specific time. In time and space, what type of crops are cultivated? Maybe in India or maybe in the western Himalayan regions, the crops that are cultivated are A, B, C, D. At one particular specific point of time, maybe during independence 1950s. Now, in 1960s, what type of crops are being cultivated? If there is any change in the crops, like D, E, F, something like G, say for example, new crops are cultivated. When new crops are cultivated, there is a shift in the cropping pattern. What is cropping pattern? Cropping pattern is a yardstick, is a measuring strategy. Well, just like what is GDP for the economic development? Why the countries will be calculating GDP every year? In order to understand whether their domestic product has increased or not, whether the economic development is there or not. Is it clear? In 2022, India's GDP is this much. In 2023, GDP is much more than 2020. Means what economic development has happened. How GDP will be giving the measurement of the development in the case of economy on the same lines in the case of agricultural development. In the case of agricultural development, what is more important is understanding the cropping patterns. What is cropping pattern? Cropping pattern is a yardstick for calculating how far we have developed in agricultural activities. Like if the cropping patterns are changing, say for example, the cropping pattern has changed vigorously between 1950, 1960, 1970, 1980, where for every year the cropping, for every 1 decade, the cropping patterns are changing. More the changes in the cropping pattern, more the agricultural development. Less the changes in the cropping pattern, less the agricultural development. Why this statement? See this one. Why a farmer will be shifting from A crop to D crop? Maybe let us not combine the same numbers like X, Y, Z, then K. Why the fellow is shifting from A crop to X crop? Because when you will be shifting your optional, in your case, normally in your UPSC, the moment once the people will be having such a great vigor, they will be entering into the preparation called as optional preparation. They will be taking one optional. Say anthropology, sir, anthropology is small syllabus, sir. They will be taking. Then after seeing physical anthropology, the people decided, okay, no, Baba, it's not my area. Let us shift to another subject, sociology. When they will be shifting, when they take the decision to shift, provided the other option is giving better returns. Is it clear? And so when we say that the cropping pattern has shifted from this to this one, definitely it will be giving more economic value. And so more the changes in the cropping pattern, more the economic development. What type of economic development? Agricultural development. And so the cropping pattern is a yardstick for understanding the agricultural development of a region. But unfortunately in India, the cropping pattern remains same. Almost all, right from 1947 till 1990s. Until the new economic policy, the cropping pattern has not much changed much. Right? See, this is the strategy. The cropping patterns are nothing but the yardstick to identify the agricultural development of a given region. Now the cropping patterns are being influenced by whom? The Himalayan ecosystem. Meaning what? Why the people are shifting the crops from one variety to other variety? That ecosystem is influencing the person to change from this crop to other crop, which can give more returns. Could understand? This is what? Climate smart agriculture. Whenever because of the climate change something happens, now the people should be getting same returns. Where the Himalayan ecosystem, whenever the sensitive ecosystem is getting changed, yet the people are having more agricultural facilities, agricultural productivities, then it itself is called as the benefit for the farmer. How it is getting, how it is influencing, that is what the question that is asked. For that question, what should be the answer? The answer should be, see this one. First of all, explain the Himalayan ecosystem has unique physiography due to this altitude, relief, topography, and the slope aspects. Then, what are the natural conditions that facilitates and regulates the cropping patterns? Like crop diversity, you need to go for mixed cropping and changes in the cropping pattern. Then, it will be giving agro-diversity. Whenever you are changing the crops, means what? Bringing a number of varieties of crops in one area. The best example you can give the concept of what is called as bara anaj. There is a concept called as bara anaj, where 12 seeds can be grown in the same area. Where? In the Himalayan ecosystem. In the Himalayan ecosystem, where the bara anaj concept is there, called as within the same area at the same point of time, 12 different crops can be cultivated, 12 seeds can be cultivated at the same time. This is what the concept of this one. This is what you need to mention. Whenever you are mentioning this one, your answer is good. always, mention that the physical part will be deciding the human activities. At the same time, human is having a free hand to decide which option was given by the nature. Meaning what? You are going in between the possibilism and the determinism. Nothing but the new possibilism, neo-determinism, right? That is what the concept. You need to connect like this one. Then write a critically argued essay on nautical tourism and its infrastructure in India. See this one. Yes, go ahead. What is the question? The question is, are there any crops that have recently changed in India, entire India? In the entire India, from where the people are used to cultivate in that particular area, but now they have shifted the cropping. In India, basically, the cropping pattern remain almost all one and the same. But the very, very great and the very wonderful example where the shift of the crop, and not I'm talking about one person. It's not the one farmer where he has shifted the crop. If the entire area has shifted the crop, what is the best example where you can understand very clearly is in the state of Maharashtra. Even when we are talking about the relief concepts in the geomorphology, even in the GS also, we will be talking about what is called as the shift of the cotton from cotton to sugarcane. That is what the change in the cropping pattern. With respect to Himalayan ecosystem, see the Himalayan ecosystem, what type of crops are being shifted recently. Let me give the hilly terrains first of all, not just Himalayas, all the hilly terrains. In the Western Ghats, you can find the coffee plantation, you can find the tea plantation in the Western Ghats. Now, in the hilly terrain of Eastern Ghats, there is a concept of cultivating of the coffee of the Western Ghats in the Eastern Ghats. When the coffee was introduced in the Eastern Ghats, naturally coffee is not cultivated in the Eastern Ghats, but the coffee plantations were brought. Also, apples from the Himalayan regions was brought to the Eastern Ghats. There is a question with respect to even Eastern Ghats, how the Eastern Ghats are changing their land use activity, that is the question is there. Even for the answer also the same concept, like when the apples are being introduced in the Eastern Ghats. This is with respect to the Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats, where the cropping patterns got changed. Now with respect to the Himalayas, see both the Eastern and the Western Himalayas. In both the Eastern and the Western Himalayas, because of the new activities, the new trends that are there in the agriculture, where the people are slowly shifting from the traditional crops, the traditional products, the people are more towards the orchard farming. The people earlier, they are used to, majority of the lands were meadows, majority of the land was left as it is, and in the eastern part, the people are going for shifting cultivation on a large scale, but now the people shifted from the shifting cultivation and they are going for the products like strawberries are being brought from the Western Himalayas to the Eastern Himalayas. Basically, it is not a product that is grown in the Eastern Himalayas, but that was brought from Western Himalayas to Eastern Himalayas. This is what the changed scenario. Always whenever the economic benefit is there, you can find the changes. Whenever the changes are there, if the economic benefit is there, that will be sustained. Ultimately, what is important for the man? Man always seeks benefit. If the benefit is there, he is very much ready to adapt. If the benefit is not there, he will not be adapting. Whenever the changes are there, meaning what? Definitely the fellow will be having benefit, meaning what? The cropping patterns are changing. This is how the explanation can be given, right? This is the cropping pattern that were there in the Himalayas and the hilly terrains and different parts of India. Then moving to the next question, nautical tourism. What is this nautical tourism? The term nautical tourism has created a confusion in the mind of the students. When I was talking to the students who have written the exam, when they came, they said that, yes, sir, we know the water tourism. After coming to the out of the exam hall, we referred this one and we came to know that nautical tourism is also called as water tourism. But we got confused regarding the word nautical tourism. When the word is not known, like nautical miles, you might be knowing the word called as nautical miles. Nautical miles is the distance used, means what? That is a unit used to measure the distances over the water bodies. That the people understood. But what is this nautical tourism? They didn't understand. And so some of the people skipped the answer. When you replace this nautical tourism with the word called as water tourism, they can write an extraordinary answer. What is happening right now in the tourism sector, where the government of India wants to go for the water tourism on a great scale? In fact, the government of India, under the program called as Island Development Agency, under the program called as Island Development Agency, chaired by Mr. Home Minister, the principal secretary of the Home Minister happens to be the legal, means what, the bureaucratic head. These people, they want to introduce even some of the sea landing flights. Have you ever seen the flights? The small flights which can land over the water body, right? These are the flights the people, the government of India wants to introduce at one. And recently, one of such a pilot project was conducted in the Narmada River region, where you can find the statue of, not liberty. Forget about liberty. It is unity in India. In India, it is unity, the Statue of Unity, where in the Statue of Unity region, in order to have a great view of the statue of Sardar, Mr. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, where the seaplane was introduced there. On the lines of this one, where the government wants to implement in all the areas across the coastal area. Recently, the coastal area was being recalculated, which was earlier 7,500 kilometers roughly, but right now it was 11,098.8 kilometers. Along the coastal areas, there are good number of potential areas where you can go for the sea tourism, nothing but water tourism. Not only the mainland India, also along the coast of Andaman Nicobar and the Lakshadweep. Because of the greater potential that is present in the tourism, where the people can gain much more revenue, even the people can earn the foreign exchange also when the foreign tourism is there. And so the government of India is going for the nautical tourism. But what are the biggest constraints right now? We don't have professional, trained professionals in this one. Not only this one, the infrastructure bottlenecks are there. Till now, we are having the idea, but we don't have that the acumen of maintaining the water tourism till now. And so the government has to work on these lines in order to facilitate more number of such professional personalities, at the same time trained persons, at the same time infrastructure facilities like the construction of the hotels, then the lodges. At the same time, you can find some food restaurants. Also, some of the dormitories where the people can go for changing rooms, the sleeping beds, all these things. Whenever these things are arranged, definitely government of India can get more revenue. Not just from the outside, the local, our domestic tourism itself is very, very high right now. Specifically, after COVID, the tourism sector has taken a U-turn where the greater revenues are there for the tourism sector. Basically, the people, maybe the psychological mindset in the mind of the people, we don't know, but especially after COVID-19, what happened? The people started spending more on tourism. Earlier, the people used to save, now the people are, what may be the reason? What may be the reason? Maybe whenever you are saving so much of money is of what use? Maybe, I don't know, but exactly, don't write these things in the exam. But post-COVID-19, see this one, you can mention this one, post-COVID-19, tourism has taken a U-turn where more and more revenues are there, right? Specifically from the domestic tourism. We are not talking about the tourism from the outside, foreign tourism. It is the domestic tourism, right? These are the things. Then, after this one, the second question. See the second question. And first of all, the moment once the question paper is there, you should be in a position to select first of all. From which section you need to pick up the two questions. From two sections, you need to, as a compulsory, you need to pick up two questions. Out of 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, out of these 6, you need to pick up at least 2 from one section. You need to select from which section I need to pick up. For that, first of all, you need to go through the question paper. You need to spend some time, you need to waste some time there. It's not wasting, it is investing time there, right? You need to select all the three, ABC, 2 ABC, 3 ABC, then you need to check 4 ABC. In which section I can score more marks, you need to select. In fact, in this paper, the second question is having extraordinary mileage. We can get more and more marks out of this second question rather than third and the fourth one. See the one. Question. Explain the factors which contribute to the growth of Indian pharmaceutical industry with specific reference to its concentration in the western region of India. Whenever you are talking about the Indian pharmaceutical, first of all, give a rough picture regarding the pharmaceutical of India. India is known for its pharmaceutical hub. India is known as a pharmaceutical hub. Where do you find the clusters of development? The first and foremost area is the western coast of India. Means what? The western part of India. The second very greater developments are there in the southern part, with the headquarters called as Hyderabad. In the western side, the headquarters is called as Ahmedabad region. In the western side, Ahmedabad is the nucleus. In the southern side, the nucleus is Hyderabad, right? These are the two very, very important hubs. Right now, in the modern times, there are two more hubs developed, one in the north, another one in the east. In the eastern side, the Visakhapatnam is stealing the show, where the Visakhapatnam is going to become the manufacturing hub, especially in the case of pharmaceutical. In the north, it is the Himachal Pradesh along with the Uttarakhand region. Specifically, the area like Rishikesh area and the other regions in the Himachal Pradesh, the northern area, where the city called as the Balle city or Balle region. These are the important areas where the pharmaceutical hubs are located. The question specifically demands why it is concentrating only on the western side. Why it is having more business in the western world? Because of its early bird concept, where the chemical industries are there. Also, already the area, the people are entrepreneurial in nature, the capital availability, also the raw material availability. Because of all these facilities, the area developed on the large scale in the western side. Once it got developed, also the other important one is the bulk manufacturing, bulk manufacturing capacity that is there in both the two areas. One is the western side, another one is the southern side. We are having the very great knowledge in developing the generic drugs. And what is the biggest development right now in the wake of Trump's tariff concepts? Pharmaceuticals of USA. See the point. How much percent of pharmaceuticals of USA on which the USA is depending on India? Around some 40%. Just imagine. 40% of our Indian pharmaceuticals are being exported to USA. This fellow has given some excuse in the tariffs of this the pharmaceutical hub, because they are in want of the pharmaceuticals, the medicals, right? And so, in the wake of tariffs, even this can be an important question, right? This is the background. With this background, see this one. Why is very strong demand is, or why the strong development is there in the western side? Basically, we are having a larger population, and so where the health is considered as a very important asset in the society. And so right from the traditional time period, we are giving more and more importance to the health facilities. Therefore, the knowledge is there. We are having very great knowledge. Specifically, again, the traditional knowledge right from ages immemorial. We are the leaders in developing the drugs, specifically vaccines. For the entire world, more than 50% of the vaccines for the entire world is being supplied by our India. During the COVID also, which countries supplied the vaccines to the entire world countries? It is we, under the concept called as Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, right? These are all the backgrounds. With this background, you can answer the question, like, what are the factors? The traditional knowledge, the concept of local weights in the ancient India, the skilled scientists. There are good number of skilled personalities, especially in the development of the new drugs, cultural values, our culture, like, Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. Global needs, 50% of the vaccines for the world are being supplied by our India. Then the cheap labor. Labor also, not only the cheap labor, even the people are having the knowledge for the production of these medicines. Then where the area of concentration is there, specifically Gujarat and Maharashtra in the western side. In the northern side, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. In the east, Visakhapatnam. In the south, Hyderabad is a hub for the generic medicines. Then factors for more concentration in the western side: port location, early bird, entrepreneurship, capital, along with the raw material. See, right? Also with the governmental policies. The government has given the policies, implemented a good number of policies, like incentives were being given for these people. And so the western part of India has become the hub for pharmaceuticals. This can be a good question with respect to the pharmaceutical. This is a traditional type of question. Such type of questions were there even in the past. May not be with respect to the pharmaceutical. It was there in the cement industry or some other industry. So you can expect this question and you can write the answer, right? Now see this one, second, again very, very common in the ecological related question. Why are coral reefs in India most important with respect to its dynamic ecosystem? Even in the last question also, you can draw the map. You can draw the map, you can show the concentration of the pharmaceutical industries on the western side, in the Himachal Pradesh, in the south, and all these areas. Just draw a small map and you can show these are the areas, the clusters of pharmaceutical industry. And here also, you can mention where do you find the coral reefs in India? The coral reefs in India are found in the class also. We have explained this one. Where do you find the coral reefs in India? Which part of Andaman Nicobar? In the Nicobar region, right? In the southern part of Andaman Nicobar, you can find good coral reefs, right? Suppose if this is India, this is the area where you can find the first area, the first and foremost area. The second area, again the coral reefs are found there. Not only this one, in the Gulf of Mannar, this is the area, the coast of Rameshwaram, you can find very great coral reefs. Specifically, the fringing reefs are present here. Also, off the coast of Karnataka, this is the fourth area. What is the name of this island called as? Netrani Island, right? Then off the coast of even Maharashtra also you can find the coral reefs are present. These are the areas. Along with this one, you can find the coral reefs in the Gulf of Kutch. Why not in the eastern side? In the eastern side, it is only in the Gulf of Mannar, the Rameshwaram region, and the Andaman, the southern part of Andaman Nicobar. These are the only areas where you can find the coral reefs in India, and you need to explain on a good scale. And what is the economical significance? What is the significance of the coral reefs? Coral reefs acts as a indicator species. Nothing but the coral polyps acts as an indicator species. They indicate the health of the ecosystem. Point number one. The very other important point is the coral reefs host 25% of the entire marine life. 25% of the marine life treats the coral reefs as the habitat for these species. Meaning what? Rich biodiversity region of the ocean, and so they are called as the rainforest of the ocean. Then they are very great, having capacity to carbon sequestration. They will be absorbing the carbon dioxide. For the coastal protection, the coast is being protected because of, as it is, the reef is constructed with the calcium carbonate. Any strong wave, any strong tide is coming, it will be stopped by this one. Strong waves are being protected, being stopped by these reefs. Then indicates the health of the ecosystem. Source of medical species. The medicinal plants can be there, and you can find the growth of the medicinal plants where the people can produce some of the medicines. Also, as a raw material for the cement industry, the corals are the raw material from the cement industry. You can produce cement also from these coral reefs. Then, obviously, you can find the tourism and livelihood for the coastal communities. For the coastal people, it is a great livelihood. How? Fishing. Because it is a rich diversity region where the people can go for collection of fishes. Not only fishes, the shells are being collected. Also, they can collect some of the important species like important material like pearls, right? All these are the things where you can write in this one. It's a very direct and a very simple but very powerful answer you can write for this question. Then the 2C, how does the agriculture sector of India converse with the contemporary physical and politico-economic changes in the different regions of the country? How does the agriculture sector of India confront with the contemporary physical and political? For the first time, they are asking about the physical also. Agriculture in relation with the physical, political, economic. How the agriculture is being affected physically? Yes, because of physical, means what? Whatever the changes that are happening are based upon the physical conditions only. The agriculture will be there, specific agriculture will be there in specific region. At the same time, the political economic, politico-economic, how comes the political activities can be deciding the type of agricultural activities? Going for governmental policies, implementing some incentives, implementing some special schemes, announcing the minimum support price. Then economic, demand for the product that is there in that society, right? These are the things. With this background, whenever you are having a rough idea, now let us see the answer. What should be the model answer? This is the introduction. You need to talk about the introduction, like some introduction should be given. Then see the physical, how the physical entities are impacting the agricultural activities of the region. Global warming. Monsoons are getting affected. In fact, one of the tipping point is the monsoon, the vagaries of the monsoons. Whenever the monsoons are changing, obviously it will be impacting the agricultural activities. Submergence of the coastal areas. Coastal areas are known for the greater agricultural productivities. They are getting submerged. The emergence of the new pest. Whenever the changes are happening, maybe humidity in the area is changing, or the temperature is changing, the new pests are there. Because the new pest, definitely they will be affecting the agricultural crops. Then the water scarcity. What happened in the case of northern plains recently? There was the depletion of the groundwater, completely depletion of the groundwater, and so water scarcity also impacts the agricultural productivity. Land degradation. Right now what is happening? More and more land is getting degraded because of faulty agricultural practices. Then because of all these things, low productivities are there. Physically, agricultural activities are being affected like this one. Political and economic middleman concept. The people, the farmers are not having the direct access to the marketing. And so the government is going for a number of schemes like e-NAM, e-agriculture, national agriculture marketing. Though the number of programs are being introduced, but the problem here is the farmers are not so greatly literate. And so the socio-economic factors also plays, not just the political. A socio factors also comes into picture because of poverty that is there, because of the what is called as the illiteracy. And so as poverty, literacy are the common points, instead of asking about the socio-economic, now the question is regarding the politico-economic. Socio-economic is a common factor. Now they are talking about the politico-economic. Lack of knowledge about the policies, then lack of marketing knowledge for the farmers, and so middleman is getting more revenue. In fact, the farmer who is cultivating the land is getting less profit. The consumer who is purchasing the product has to spend more money. Who is gaining in between? Middleman. Just for acting as a middleman, purchasing from the farmers, selling in the market, he is gaining more money. That is what is the factual condition right now. Then access to the credit is not there for the farmers. Specifically, the formal way of getting the loans is even today is not on a proper lines. Then sometimes spurious inputs are there. Like sometimes what is called as the seeds are not of high yielding varieties, but the people will be selling in the name of high yielding varieties of seeds. The quality products are not being provided to the farmers, and therefore all these are the issues that are there. This is about the second question.
Every UPSC topper has one thing in common: a powerful optional subject that gave them the edge in mains. It's not just syllabus coverage. It's about building depth, precision and scoring power that sets you apart when ranks are decided. That's exactly what the Vision IAS Optional Classroom Program 2026 delivers. Immersive classes for crystal clear concepts, intensive answer writing practice with expert feedback, dedicated mentorship to sharpen focus and strategy, refined study material trusted by toppers year after year. Whether you are starting fresh or aiming for the final breakthrough, this program transforms your optional into your rank booster. With Vision IAS, you never prepare alone. You prepare with the institute trusted by toppers across India. New batches for anthropology, geography, political science and international relations and sociology begins from 18th September. Don't just prepare, dominate mains with your optional. To know more or register, visit our website or call us on the given numbers.
Then coming to the third question. Why is the pattern of population distribution of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes different in India? See the beauty of the question. Never the question was asked like this one. Every time, the question will be on something else, but not comparison of spatial distribution. Pattern of population distribution, nothing but spatial distribution. Where do you find more SCs? Where do you find more STs? What is the difference? Why the SCs are located like this? Why the STs are located like that? Never the question was asked. This is in a new angle, right? Why the pattern of population distribution of SCs and STs different in India? Compare their socio-economic problems with examples. Socio-economic problems you can explain easily, but distribution, you need to draw a map, you need to show. Now, let me give a rough idea about this one. Where do you find the concentration of SCs more in our Indian states? SC dominated states, like the first and foremost, Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is having more SCs than Punjab, very good. Then STs in the other areas. SCs, more SC dominated states. Even in the Tamil Nadu, you can find more SC population. Right? See, this type of analysis you should be having, like, where do you find more SC population? In which state you can find more SC population? Whenever the distribution is there, the STs you can understand because the tribal people there. Where do you find more tribes? Northeastern India. Almost all the people are the tribal people. Then Jharkhand, where you can find good number of tribes. Also you can find Odisha. The tribal people are concentrated in the hilly terrain and the forest areas. But whereas SCs are embedded with the modern civilizations and they are performing agriculture, and so they are in the mainstream civilization. But where their concentration is there, you need to assess that one and then you can get the answer, right? Whenever you are having that understanding, then only can write this answer. Now see this one. What do you mean by SCs and STs? How can define? SCs are part of society, are relatedly isolated or STs. But what is the definition of SCs? Scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, which are backward. BCs, also backward. Those castes which are mentioned in the schedule of the Constitution of India. Some of the castes are being mentioned in the schedules of, you can find, in the entire constitution, articles are there, then schedules are there. Some castes are being enlisted in the schedules of the constitution. Those castes are called as scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. Right, could understand. Where you are, means what, the normal people, castes are not listed in the constitution. Those castes which are listed in the constitution under the schedules is called as scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. These are the people, right? See this one, two different groups, they are the two different groups facing different challenges. There are two different groups facing different challenges. SCs are agrarian in nature. Basically their main occupation is agrarian in nature and they got assimilated with the modern civilizations. On the other hand, STs are more isolated. They are living in the hilly terrains, maybe in the nook and corners, maybe in the forest areas. This is about the explanation of these two groups. Then, socio-economic problems. SCs faces social exclusiveness because of untouchability. Till recently, untouchability was prevailing. Thanks to the greatest reformers where the untouchability was being made as a crime, right? Then SU suffers from severe caste-based discrimination and social injustice. They are deprived of land and economic assets owing to the historic deprivation. Historically, they lack opportunities and exploited economically. Whereas STs, see the problems of the STs, socio-economic problems. Their geographical isolation deprived employment opportunities. Their developmental projects, any developmental project happens, since they are located in the hilly terrain or the forest areas, when any developmental activities happen, like maybe construction of the dam, where the dams are constructed in the hilly areas, whenever the dam is constructed, whose habitats are being submerged? It is the ST habitats. And so the people are forced to migrate to some other area. When these people migrate from their original habitat, they can't sustain their livelihood in any other area. They are more morally attached to the place where they are living. That is what the characteristic of the STs. Then economically they are also exploited. The best example in the Jarawas community in the Andaman Nicobar. These people are being economically and even the physically they are being exploited by the foreigners. Especially the foreigners who coming from the European regions. The Supreme Court of India became very serious, very angry regarding this particular activities done by the foreigners in the name of tourism, where they exploited the Jarawa community that is present in the Andaman Nicobar, right? Such type of wherever the Supreme Court is involved, whenever any government is giving any statement regarding the exploitation of the STs, you should be mentioning those things as a case studies, right? They depend on the forest produce. And the modern societies gives value to the low value to their products. Whenever they are bringing some products to the modern world for selling, the modern world is giving least preference to these people. And even the products of these people, have you ever seen this one? Some people will be bringing honey and they will be sitting on the roadsides. Where the fellow who will be moving in the bench, no, he never least bothered about, because that fellow will be purchasing some corporate honey, not the fellow who is bringing and sitting on the roadside, right? Their values, the forest produce, where that is truly for the same, the true product and the high qualitative product, but it is not given more importance because they are not there in the streamline, the modern advertisement in the marketing and all these things. Therefore, these things are being deprived for the people who are living in the forest and the hilly terrains, right? Their isolation is very important, where they are economically, socially, economically isolated. Who are these people who got economically, socially and isolated from the main societies? It is STs. STs are the one which are highly isolated, right? The next one, highlight the characteristics of land utilization in the Eastern Ghats. How the land is utilized in the Eastern Ghats of India. What are the land utilization problems in the region? See, why only Eastern Ghats were asked? Because the land utilization in the Eastern Ghats nowadays is much in the news, where the people are, means what the governments of the states like Tamil Nadu, it's not basically Tamil Nadu, basically it is Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. These are the two states where the land utilization got changed. Earlier, what was the one where the majority of the lands were being left under the forest, where the tribes used to take their own decisions to implement the products, but right now it is the Andhra Pradesh state government who has taken a very great interest in the development of the tribal communities which are living in the Eastern Ghats. Introduction of the new varieties of products are being cultivated there, like apples are being cultivated. Have you ever come across the apples of the Eastern Ghats? Normally, where you can find the apples? Only in the Himalayas. Also, coffee is being cultivated. Right now, the coffee is having a very great demand, which was brought from the Western Ghats to the Eastern Ghats, and the Eastern Ghats coffee is being exported to Europe. The variety of coffee that is cultivated in the Eastern Ghats is called as Robusta variety of coffee. And what is the important case study in the case of apples? When the people brought the apple products, the varieties of apples, and they started cultivating in the Eastern Ghats, normally apple will be reddish in color, right? But because of the changed scenario, the slope aspect, the temperature aspect, because of the rain aspect, what happened? The red apples are not growing there. The genetical makeup is the red apple. The parent is the red apple. But whenever they was brought and cultivated in the Eastern Ghats, the apples are not red. They are cropping out, they are giving the green apples. What not the people, the scientific community try to change that one into red apples, because the people are used to eat only the red apples. The government, means what, the researchers did a lot of research to change the color of the apples from green to red, but they could not change. Finally, they started deciding to sell, to market in the name of green apples. And that has given a brighter result. Everyone, nowadays they are talking about the green apples. Instead of red apples, it is a unique variety. And the people started purchasing, and even these products are being supplied to, been exported to different parts. This is how the land use activity got changed. Land use activity, land utilization, cropping pattern. See the terminologies. Land use activity, land utilization, the cropping pattern. Cropping pattern is with respect to agriculture. Land use activity, land utilization, it may be agriculture or maybe some other activity like mining or maybe some other developmental activity, right? This is what the difference between the land utilization, land use activity and the cropping patterns, right? Could understand? Now see this, with this background, understand this one. Eastern Ghats have traditionally low agricultural value. When compared to Western Ghats, traditionally they are having low agricultural value. Why? Because they are not as tall as that of the Western Ghats to change the climatic conditions or the rainfall pattern. Here in this area you can find somewhat less rainfall, at the same time not so cold temperatures, somewhat warm temperatures are prevailing here. They are characterized by extensive shifting cultivation. The name of the shifting cultivation is called as Penda. The name of the shifting cultivation is called as Podu in the Eastern Ghats of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Basically, you can find the tribal people like there is a tribe called as Sarava tribe. There is a tribe called as Sarava tribe. Also, there is a tribe called as Chenchu tribe. These are the very native tribes. Even today, they are living in the tribal outfit. They are leading the tribal lifestyle. They could not get assimilated to the modern civilization. What not the governments did? The government has done so many activities, yet the people wants to get isolated. They don't want to mingle with the modern civilization. And so the government went to their area. Instead of bringing them to the modern world, the modern products are being introduced in that area. And because of this one, what happened in the entire the Eastern Ghats, in the tall elevated areas of the Eastern Ghats, that new cropping pattern system developed. The new cropping patterns developed, right? Characters of the land use. What type of land use are there? Agriculture, mainly shifting activities. Then rain-fed in nature. Agriculture is rain-fed in nature. Then low productivities. You can find the cultivation of the crops like cereals are being cultivated, major millets are cultivated, minor millets are cultivated. Then you can find the oil seeds and also some of the horticultural products. But the problem here is all they are of low quality and low quantity. This is what the problem. Terrace farming is being practiced recently. Then coffee plantation, apple orchards are being introduced in the state of Andhra Pradesh. People are engaged in the livestock rearing because of availability of the grazing lands in the leeward side. In the leeward side, what happened? The grass is there because of less rainfall. Then, of late, the land is used mainly used for the mining activity, especially in the state of Odisha. The mining activity is happening in the state of Odisha. Most of the land even today is under the forest. The tribes are living in a symbiotic association in the both Odisha as well as Andhra Pradesh. Right? But why they are not talking about the Eastern Ghats of Tamil Nadu? Because the Eastern Ghats of Tamil Nadu have been completely where the tribes are not living. The people, modern people, are staying there, and they are the low-lying hill structures. Right? Land utilization problem. What type of problems are there? Unecological cultivation, which is shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation is non-ecological. They will be clearing the forest. That is what the unecological. Then soil erosion is there, degradation is there, deforestation, forest fire, the land degradation, water scarcity, crop failures, migration of the people, mining hazards, loop changes, quarrying, loss of biodiversity. Common, whatever the problems that are found in the ecological systems, all the problems are there, and so you can enlist all these things as a common problems, right? Then the third C question. What are the challenges of the dairy sector in India? Describe the contribution of bovine population. What is bovine population? Specifically the cattle population, right? Now see this one. See the point. India is the one where you can find not only the world's #1 in the human population, it is also #1 in the cattle population also, right? Where do you find the greatest cattle? It is in India, not Africa, not in Europe. It is in India where you can find the greatest cattle population. More number of cattle are there. But the problem here is India is not the #1 in the milk production. Though it is the cattle #1, but in the case of milk production, producing is happening, but it is not accounted. where it is not entering into the dairy sector, where the pasteurization can be done, where the shelf life period of the milk and milk products can be enhanced. That is not is happening. There was a great personality called as Mr. Verghese Kurian, who was considered as the father of white revolution. He brought a concept of white revolution in India using the corporate, using the strategy called as cooperative sector. Cooperative sector was there. Like the best example, even today the live example is Amul, Anand Milk Union Cooperative. Anand Milk Cooperative Union Limited. Amul. Anand Milk Union Cooperative Limited. That is what the one. Okay, Amul products. This is what the Amul. When cooperative sector was introduced in the dairying, it has given a tremendous result in the initial days, 70s, 80s, till 90s. Till 90s, there was a good number of what is called as great development, especially in the state like Gujarat, #1 state in the case of the dairying, then followed by the southern states like Tamil Nadu, under the brand name called as Avin, and the third state where the highly developed region called as the Andhra Pradesh, United Andhra Pradesh, under the brand name called as Vizia. Then in the state of Kerala, the name of the brand is called as Milpa. Karnataka, the state brand is called as Nandini. These are the, and even Assam, there are something, the brand name is called as Paras or something was there, right? Where the people started implementing the cooperative sector in the dairying sector on a wonderful scale, and where the developments were happening. But recently what happened? Again, the dairy industry got collapsed like anything. What happened? Because of the infrastructural bottlenecks, whatever the problems in the procurement, the farmer needs to be given some financial support, ask them to purchase the cattle, and the cattle needs to be taken care, but the milk needs to be procured by the dairy. For supplying of the milk from the village to the dairy, there must be transportation. The transportation needs to be borne by the government. But majority of the governments, what they are doing, they started giving the dairy industry in the hands of the private people. Private people became more vigor than that of the government, and right now the private sector has taken the entire show of the government. At least if the private sector is performing on a great scale, because of adulteration, the people lost confidence in the dairy and the dairy products. Specifically, see, you people generally think in a common way. At your house, are you purchasing the milk sachet or the fellow who is pressing the bell and he'll be giving the milk? At our houses, in our local towns and the villages, even in the tier 2 cities, majority of the milk was being supplied by the local vendors. See, the technological innovation, pasteurizer is there. The people started producing, controlling the fat percentage, keeping the fat as 3%, which is called as a toned milk. Everything is being done scientifically, but this milk is not being accepted. Why? Because the people have lost faith in these products, because for the past few years, the people have seen some adulterations that are there. Where in the public sector itself, if the adulteration is there, then what to talk about the private people? They want more profits. And so the quality and the quantity, when it got reduced, the people are losing the confidence. And so the people are directly purchasing from the village vendor. That is what is happening. Even you and me, we are also not purchasing the processed products. And so the procurement itself got reduced less. When the procurement itself is less, many of the dairies got closed. Such a wonderful dairy like Avin was there. Such a wonderful dairy like even Amul is facing the crisis. Right? The other dairies that crop up, Mother Dairy came into picture. You will be seeing the Mother Dairies here and there in Delhi, right? That is what the Mother Dairy came into picture. What about the National Dairy Development Board in Delhi? If at all you are seeing the sachet of Mother Dairy and the National Dairy Development Board, which is a government one, you even hate the packing of the product. It appears, somewhat, lucrative, and you will be purchasing this one. See, this is what is happening, right? See, challenges. What are the challenges that are there? Cattle health is the biggest challenge. There is no much insurance for the cattle. Even the insurance, there are a number of bottlenecks are there in the insurance of the cattle also. The fellows will be doing all sorts of malpractices. They will be purchasing insurance for one cattle, and whatever the cattle dies, they'll be taking the tag and they'll be clipping the tag to that particular cattle. They will be claiming insurance. There are a number of such things. And also, there is another thing called as lack of fodder. The nutrient fodder should be given, nutrient feed should be given to the cattle. Whenever you are comparing the productivities of the milk here in India and the Western European region, especially the countries like Denmark. Denmark is known for the milk and the milk products, right? One cattle per time, I'm not talking about per day, one cattle in the morning or evening will be giving minimum of 20 liters of milk. In India, the same 20 liters of milk will be given by at least, if at all it is a very, very fertile area, fertile breed, minimum 5 cattle will be giving 20 liters of milk. 1:5 ratio. This is what is happening. Number of cattle is, though it is less, yet milk production is more. Though the number of cattle are more, but drought varieties are more here, less milk is produced. Moreover, the quality and quantity of the milk is also less here. These are some of the things that are there, where the fodder is not given, the nutrient feed is not supplemented to the cattle. Then low productivities, non-scientific feeding practices, like lack of proper collection centers. Now, what is the biggest thing is, whenever you want to test the quality of the milk, there is a reading called as LR reading, lactometer reading. There is an instrument called as lactometer. Lactometer is made to dip into the milk. Whenever it is dipped in the milk, the lactometer reading should be giving minimum of 27 degrees. If the 27 degrees is there, then it is considered as a pure milk. The people became so extraordinarily intelligent, they'll be milching 5 liters of milk, they'll be adding 5 liters of water. Now the quantity is 10. And in order to maintain the lactometer reading of 27, if at all you are in this 10 liters of milk, if at all you are dipping, it will be less than 17. In order to increase the lactometer reading, they will be adding urea, they will be adding the salt, they will be adding the all sorts of adulteration, and then the reading will be raising to 27. What happens to the quality? Who will be drinking? Infants will be drinking. Milk is considered as a very nutritious food. When such milk is consumed, what happens to the health? Right? This is what the problem. And whenever the adulteration comes into picture, the companies are losing the faith in that milk. That's why the people are directly purchasing. Even is that good milk? $1 million question is the right. See, these are the poor veterinary services. Especially, there is a concept called as artificial insemination. In fact, the cattle is having the estrus cycle. What do you mean by estrus cycle? In a year, only one egg is released. Estrus cycle. In the case of humans, it is called as menstrual cycle. Monthly cycle is there. But in the case of cattle, the yearly cycle is there. In 1 year, only one egg is released. Exactly during that heat time period, if the male cattle is missing, then the year is lost. And so, what the veterinary department will be doing, they will be waiting for the heat period. What is that heat period? Whenever the egg is released from the female cattle. Exactly during that point of time, the artificial insemination will be done. For that collection of the semen of the male, where the people will be needs to store, there needs to be collected. Collection itself is a very difficult process. Again, storing is a difficult process. For all these things, the high cost is required. Means what? High cost is incurred. In order to maintain that one, again, whenever the semen goes adulterated or something, it will get damaged. Something goes wrong, the fertilization will not happen. And so these things need to be taken care. The precautions need to be taken to produce the fertile calves, the hygiene crops, at the same time high productivity calves. Whenever the semen is being collected on a proper lines, stored on the proper lines, then only can produce the productive calves. That is what the problem. And so all these things demand some care, some extra care needs to be taken. The extra care obviously demands extra money. Because of all these things, the people are not interested in this one. See, no financial support to the farmers. Contribution, what is the contribution of the bovine population? The bovine population is contributing nutrition to the rural people. Then source of milk and milk products, source of manure to agriculture. See, these are all the activities which are called as allied activities, right? manure to the agriculture, source of organic farming, then allied activities income. These are the things that are there. See, I am showing all these answers. The fourth question, the section A will be done. Section B, I will not be showing the answer. You need to give the answers. What needs to be written, right? Let we do this practice. Let us see. Socio-political landscape in India. What is this socio-political landscape? Landscape we know. Socio-political, meaning what? What type of society is there in that particular region? What type of polity is there in that region? The political conditions, what type of society is there, is a result of regional consciousness, creating interstate disputes. Interstate disputes are being there because of the socio-political landscape. Because of the socio-political condition, the interstate disputes are there. Again, it's a unique question. Interstate disputes, what are the interstate disputes you can find? You will be finding the interstate disputes like water disputes. You can find the interstate disputes like land disputes. Have you ever come across the land disputes between the states? The best example, Maharashtra and Karnataka, over the region called as Belgaum. The Belgaum region where the land dispute was there. That is the interstate dispute. Also, interstate dispute because of the language. Tamil Nadu and Andhra. The Tamil people are speaking Tamil. Andhra people wants their self-respect, where the state has to accept the state language as Telugu, but they don't want to accept. Therefore, the division happened. Then also cultural aspects. The culture of Telangana and the culture of Andhra are completely different. Therefore, they got divided. See this one. Social factors, political factors. Both the social and the political factors are the reasons for the disputes. If you can write these disputes, then your answer is done. Like number one, water disputes. Water disputes between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. The water dispute between Maharashtra and Telangana. Water dispute between Telangana and Andhra Pradesh right now. These are the water disputes. Language disputes. Language disputes in terms of Gujarat and Maharashtra. Language dispute in terms of Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. Andhra at that point of time. Then cultural difference, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Also, the other important land disputes, Maharashtra and Karnataka. These are the disputes because of the society and the political developments. These are the disputes that are there. See, land disputes, cultural disputes, economic disputes, linguistic disputes, water sharing disputes. If we can mention these disputes, then it is done with. Then the next one, fourth B. Why cottage industries in India are an integral part of Indian socio-economic structure? Assess this with the reference to different types of cottage industries in rural areas. What is a cottage industry? Cottage industry is a small scale industry where the people can perform the activity at home. The best cottage industry is charaka, cotton. Separation of cotton means what? Making the cotton into threads, which is called as spinning, right? In the cotton, there are 4 different activities. One is ginning. What is ginning? Separation of seed from the cotton. Spinning, making the cotton into thread. After the spinning, then it's called as fabricating. What do you mean by fabricating? Inserting the threads vertically, horizontally to make it as a fabric. Finally, garmenting. Right, that is the best cottage industry. Not only that is a cottage industry, poultry is a cottage industry. Poultry is also a cottage industry. Also you can find handlooms is a cottage industry. Handlooms. Handicraft. Handicraft is a cottage industry, like, the people will be making the pottery. Design will be there. And then they will be selling. They will be making some jewelries. And they will be selling. The handloom and the handicrafts. Right, all these are the cottage industries. The cottage industry in India is an integral part of the Indian society. Right from times immemorial, that is an integral part of the Indian society. Assess the reference with the reference to the different types of cottage industry. What are the different types of cottage industry? One is cotton. Spinning is the cottage industry. Then pottery. Then you can find handlooms. You can find the handicrafts. You can find some of the other important food products. Even the production of the food products like spices. The cultivation of the spice itself is the one in unique area. The collection of the honey itself is one of the important activity for the one group of the people in one part of the India. Like these are the important types of types of cottage industries. Why it is an integral part? Now see this one. It reduces dependency on agriculture. Cottage industry reduces the dependence on agriculture. It reduces poverty because the self-sustainability will be provided by the cottage industry. It is a source of livelihood. Then largest employment generating industry till 1990s, which was the largest employment generating industry, it was the cottage industry. Then it empowers the women. Why the women is being empowered? Because of whenever they are selling the product, they are directly getting the money. When the financial independence is there, no other independence is required. In order to make women empowerment, what is more important is financial independence is important. Whenever the women becomes financially independent, obviously all type of empowerment should be there for the women. Then it decreases the regional imbalances. Whenever the regions see some disparities, the cottage industries reduce the regional imbalances. It exhibits the creative knowledge of the rural artisans. These are some of the important points you need to mention in the answer. Then comes the fourth C. The rural settlements in India are highly diversified due to both physical and cultural factors. The rural settlements in India. What are the rural settlements? When you see the rural settlements can be in a form of clustered or maybe dispersed, right? That is what the rural settlements you can find. But are highly diversified due to physical and the cultural factors. Physical we can understand. Because of the plain areas, the cluster settlement is there. Because of the hilly terrain, you can find the scattered settlements are there. But how comes cultural? How comes cultural settlements are the culture is determining the type of rural settlement? See the one. Basically, the physical structure, cultural factors. Cultural factors like whenever the people are performing similar activities like agriculture. When all the people are performing agriculture, there the culture of the region is making the people to settle at one particular place. Then tribal factors. Whenever the tribes are there, all the tribal people are having the similar functions and the similar culture, and so the culture is the one which is binding the people there. Then similar caste and social fabrication. Whenever the people are socially and basically the religious and the caste fabrication is there, definitely they will be living in one area. Have you ever seen this one? People of similar religion will be staying in one locality. Go to any area. People of similar religion, they will be concentrating in one region. Except the Hindus. Why? Because Hindus is a major religion that is present in our India, and therefore wherever they go you can find a Hindu family, and so they are not bothered about the other Hindu family by the side they want to stay. But specifically the minority communities like Buddhism, Jainism, Christianity, also the Islam religion, wherever the people are there, their caste is there, their religion is there, the people will be concentrating there more. Muzaffarabad. Also you can find the areas like, specifically the area like Lucknow, the area like Hyderabad, area like Coimbatore, the area like Madurai. More and more clusters of the population will be there. And take the case of Christianity, you can find more number of people living in Goa, more number of people living in the hilly terrains like that was Himachal Pradesh. Right? Why that affinity? Because of the similar cultural background. Therefore, the rural settlements are always driven by physical, social, cultural, and also about the economic activity, but these are the basic physical, social, and cultural affinities. Right? This is what the one. Same language, people speaking the same language will be living in one area. People of same religion living in one area. This is how the clusters develop. Nothing but the rural settlements develops, right? Then coming to the section B, 10 markers, 5 questions. What is the first one? Rural-urban fringe. What is this rural-urban fringe? The core periphery concept. Whenever the urban areas are growing, the rural areas will be assimilated into this one. The characteristics of the rural areas get changes to the urban. Earlier the people were performing the agriculture there. Now as and when the urban influence is more in that area, the people started constructing a small house and started giving on rent. Instead of land used for cultivation, now the people are getting more revenue because of rent. Therefore, that rural characters get changes because of the urban influence, the rural-urban fringe area. How the rural-urban fringe area can be delineated, explain with the suitable examples. You need to talk about the rural-urban fringe. What is the rural-urban fringe? The influence of the urban in the rural area. Since the rural areas are living along the fringes of urban area. And so the economic character, the social character, the land use activity of the rural areas get changes because of the urban activities, right? Then fringe area can be delineated based on physical, social, economic factors. See, in almost every question will be coming across these three characters because it is the application of the human activities, nothing but the human geographical aspects in the economic development. Always it is physical, social, cultural, political activities. You can understand this particular concept in this angle. Always you need to change means what? You need to concentrate on this physical, social, economic activities like field service, like topography, relief of a given urban and its surrounding rural areas with the intermingling land use, agriculture, residential, commercial, also the assessing of socio-economic factors like population, density and commuting patterns, remote sensing techniques to map build-up areas, along with the vegetation that is present in the rural areas, which is located by the side of urban areas. What are the methods that are included? How the urban area is linked to the rural area in terms of economy. In terms of commuting factors, like, suppose, what do you mean by commuting patterns? When the people are working in the urban areas, since the land price in the urban area is very high, the rent is very high, the people go and stay in the nearby rural areas, where the land rent is very low, the purchasing of the land is also very low. They can purchase a house, they can stay there in that area. In the morning, they'll be coming in, by the time in the evening, they will be going out. This is what the commuting. Then accessibility. Why that particular village is selected? Because it is having greater accessibility to this urban center. Migration patterns. People are migrating from the urban to the rural areas. Normally, rural to urban migration will be there. Here in this area, urban to rural migration. Then the urban area is having the influence on the rural area, which is called as the sphere of influence. Then land use analysis, how the land use is changing. Then finally, you can find the examples like Delhi. Many of the people who are working in the Delhi, they are staying in the Noida. Every day in the morning, they will be coming into the Delhi. And again, by the time we will be going there back to Noida. Also, in the Ghaziabad, they are living in Ghaziabad. Why they are living in Ghaziabad? Because the land rent is very low. Affordable price is there. Moreover, the congestion is not there. Here the traffic congestion is there. There the traffic congestion is not there. Moreover, the air is not polluted as that of Delhi. The water is pristine there. It is not polluted water. Unlike in the city areas. Because of all these things where the people will be moving to other sides. This is for 10 marks. Then 5B. Spatial distribution of religious groups in India does not show any specific pattern. Illustrate with argument. See the question. The question itself is telling that you need to illustrate this one with an argument. You need to argue. UPSC is asking, let us you argue. What is the question that is given? The spatial distribution of religious groups. Just now we are talking about the religious groups, how the religious groups are being spatially organized, nothing but spatially distributed. They are not showing any specific pattern? What do you mean by not showing specific pattern? They can go and live anywhere in India. Is it the scenario that is happening? No. There is a particular preference for the religious groups to stay in one particular region. Just now I have given the example like Muslim community people, they will be living in areas wherever the Muslim population is more. For example, in a very informal way, it can be said that Rohingyas who migrated into India, they started settling where? Wherever the Islam community is more in majority, the people went there and stayed there. Why? They feel affinity towards the same religion. Because they also, whatever the religion they are practicing, the other people are also patronizing the same religion. Whatever the dress habit, whatever the food habits, they are the same habits. And so, the affinity will be there. On the same lines, Buddhists who got migrated from the Tibet, where they will be staying? wherever the Indian Buddhists are there, the people started going and staying there. The areas like Tawang, Arunachal Pradesh, the area like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand region. These are the areas where the people started staying. Also, wherever the nucleus of more number of people are there in the Buddhist religion, in the case of Bodh Gaya, in the plain areas also they are there, but in the areas like Bodh Gaya, also in the Amaravati region of Andhra Pradesh. Why Amaravati region? Because of the personality, the great personality called as Acharya Nagarjuna. Acharya Nagarjuna, way back in the BC, he brought the one tooth of the Buddha, tooth of the Gautam Buddha, and a relic was constructed there. And so it has become a very sacred place for the Buddhism. Also, the number of people, they will be staying there. This is what the affinity. Why Bodh Gaya? Because where Buddha got enlightened there, and so the people Buddhism are there. And so the spatial distribution of religion is not showing, is the question that is given, but UPSC is asking you to argue, meaning what? Yes, it is showing the spatial pattern. What type of spatial pattern? The people will be going and settling to such areas wherever they are religiously, culturally more affiliated. And so the spatial distribution of the religious factors are also showing a definite pattern. That is what your answer should be. That is what is given here also. Right? Where do you find more Muslim population? West Bengal, UP, southern states like Kerala. Southern states like Kerala, Telangana, you can find, especially Hyderabad, then also Tamil Nadu. Then Christian concentration in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Goa, Maharashtra, Bengal, and the northeastern area. Buddhist concentration in the Ladakh, Himachal, Uttarakhand, pockets of Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. Jains in the Rajasthan, pockets of Jharkhand and Karnataka. Right? So there is a definite pattern that is being followed by the religious groups. Right? That is what the answer. Then, this is again a very common question. See, some unique questions are there with respect to the spatial distribution of SC and STs, spatial distribution of religious patterns. See, spatial distribution itself has become an important question. Repetition, can't you see the similarity in the questions? Especially between 1 and 5, the first question and the fifth question, there is a great similarity. Spatial distribution. Therefore, the paper 2 is a mainly scoring paper. If you know some hint points, you can get more and more marks by exhibiting the same, by writing the same points in a different way, and then you can get more marks. Right? Paper 2 is the one which is scoring in nature. Then, watershed is the most appropriate spatial unit for planning. This is a direct question. For any regional planning, if at all you are talking about, or if at all you are taking the watershed as one unit, the planning can be implemented in a very, very effective way. Meaning what? Instead of taking the plan for the entire state or for the entire region, if you can plan for one particular area based on the watershed, meaning what? Based on the water facility that is provided or that is present in that area. Maybe Krishna belt, Krishna river belt, maybe Godavari river belt, maybe Ganga river belt, or maybe one particular region where the water canal is there, like maybe Indira Gandhi canal. The areas wherever getting water from the Indira Gandhi canal, if at all you can plan in that region, yes, unique plan is been implemented, yes, that plan can be an ultimate plan for the economic development of the region. Maybe an area is having a water source as one lake or maybe one tank, and surrounding areas are depending upon this water body. Therefore, all the surrounding areas are being treated as one political unit, and then the planning can be done. And so, watershed, if at all you are taking as a criteria for planning, that will be the effective planning. That is what the question. When you take watershed as one unit for planning, that will be an effective planning. Yes, is it true or not? Yes, it is. Right? This is what you need to answer. Because the question is asked about comment. You need to give your ideas. Whenever there is a tag like comment, earlier there was a tagline like argument. You need to argue. You can counter the UPSC statement. But here comment, you can give your idea. Whether it is yes or no, you can give your idea, right? Is the planning for watershed is a unique aspect? It can give greater returns for the people? Yes, the answer is yes. You can give the in support. No, sir, I don't agree, sir. In our area, it is not giving the proper return. Yes, you can counter that one also, but provided beautiful example needs to be a live example should be given. Whenever it is the comment, you are having a free hand. You may support the statement or you may deny the statement, but proper support should be given. Authentic example should be given. Is it clear? That is what the comment. You need to explain all these things. Example for watershed development program, integrated watershed development program, which is very, very famous. Also the other one, rain-fed area development program. Rain-fed area, meaning what? Based upon the rain-fed, wherever the rain is happening, the area needs to be developed. The best example, the western part of India. The western part of India, this particular area where the part of the state called as Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, Western Ghats are the one which are acting as a watershed. In the western part of the Western Ghats, enormous water facilities are there, huge water facilities there. At the same time, in the eastern side, rain shadow region, no water, drought prone area, leeward side of the Western Ghats, and so watershed becomes a very, very important program. The great personality, Anna Hazare. Anna Hazare became very, very famous because of the watershed program. And you can mention the other personalities like the waterman of India, Mr. Rajendra Singh, waterman of India, right? You can talk about Rajasthan state. Because of the watershed programs in the Rajasthan, the regional development happened. The regional development and planning is because of the watershed. You can give all these examples, right? Then, is Northeast India, see the extraordinary questioning of this one, many many questions are thought-provoking in nature. See the point here. Is Northeast India a geopolitical or geocultural region? Geopolitical or geocultural region? What do you mean by geopolitical region? First of all, geopolitical. What do you mean by geopolitical? The politics because of geography. Is it a geopolitical region? Meaning what? Is it having strategical location? Is it having very great affinity with the nearby surrounding countries? Is it having cultural affinity with the other countries? Is it having economic affinity with other countries? Geopolitical. Then geocultural. All these people are having unique culture. Is this culture is having any resemblance with the nearby other countries? Right? This is what the geocultural, geopolitical. Is Northeast a geocultural or geopolitical? It is more geocultural. Because of more geocultural, it has become a geopolitical significance also. Why? How it is more geocultural? Take the case of the states like Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland, which is having each and every state is having its own culture. Mizoram for that matter. All the states are having unique culture of its own, geocultural area, and these cultures are having very great connectivity with the adjacent countries like Myanmar. The adjacent country like Myanmar, Tripura is having the very great affinity with the Bangladesh. Sikkim is having very great affinity with the Bhutan. On the other side, Nepal. Could you see the geocultural and having greater significance to geopolitics? Why it is chicken neck corridor is there? That is a chicken's neck corridor, geopolitically very significant. And moreover, from here, you can travel to China, travel to Bhutan, you can travel to Nepal, you can travel to Bangladesh, you can go to Myanmar. Geopolitical significance. The same aspect, whatever is the condition that we are seeing right from our studies, right from the day one of the study, in Northeast India is located here in this area. But the way how the UPSC is questioning, you need to analyze. Geopolitical, geocultural, which is it geopolitical or geocultural? Yes, both. Right? This is what the one. Justify your answer. When we come across justification, you need to give the examples. Yes, Mizoram is having unique culture. Nagas are having a very great affinity with the nearby Myanmar region. Once upon a time, there was a greater Nagalim area. Parts of Myanmar also are included. Even today, you people are not aware of this one. See, there are greater matrimonial alliances between the northeastern states and the Myanmar on one side, Bhutan on the other side, even the parts of China on the other side. Matrimonial, the name of the province is called as Kunming province of China. Matrimonial alliances are there. Even today, the people are crossing, the people are moving to the other side, where they need to take the permission of the border police, and then they can go to the Myanmar. The wife is from Myanmar, husband is from India. Never they find any differences. Culturally, they are almost all similar, right? That is what the one, right? Then discuss the necessary conditions for the cultivation of fox nuts and describe the areas of its production in India. All we people have eaten makana, but the name in English is called as foxnut. The people didn't know what is foxnut. In the news it was there. At the same time, even in the concept of NIN, Nutrition Report of India, there is a report which is called as the nutritional report. In that nutritional report, specifically it is mentioned like Makana has created such a great nutritional facilities in the eastern part of India, specifically in the Bihar, Bengal, Jharkhand and the other areas like an Assam region. This is a nutritional one. At the same time, the Makana report was also been published by the government of Bihar, saying that more than 80% of the Makana is produced in the Bihar, right? And so when the news is there, obviously question is there. It is a product which is grown in the what is called as the swampy areas, waterlogged areas, and it is having the very great nutritional facility. Bihar ranks number 1. 80% of the Makana in India has been produced by Bihar alone, followed by some of the other states like Bengal, right? These are the areas, and from there the entire northern belt is very, very fond of eating as a snacks, right? They are grown in the waterlogged regions. This is about the one. This is what the Makana and all these things, right? Then let me remove some of the things. Already it is 5 questions are being done, right? Let us see how best we can answer some of the other things. Yes. Okay, now let me check by taking some of the other questions. Come on, read the question. Describe. Okay. Describe the causes of the phenomenon of urban heat island. What are the effective measures to deal with this phenomenon in India? What do you mean by urban heat island? Whenever the area is having insolation, the same insolation is there. What do you mean by insolation? The incoming solar energy, right? This is the area. This is the rural area. These are the rural areas. These are the urban areas. Again, this is the rural area. This is what the condition that is there found in the settlements, right? Rural areas, urban areas are there. Same insulation is there. Here in this area, whatever the absorption of the heat energy by the land will be released out. There is no problem in the terrestrial radiation. The terrestrial radiation goes off. Here also you can find the terrestrial radiation is moving out. After absorption of the short wave insulation, the long wave radiation goes out. But in the case of urban areas, what happens? There will be a dome-like structure like this one. Whatever the short wave insulation comes in what ease the insulation is coming, with the same ease terrestrial out wave radiation cannot go. It gets trapped here. Why it is getting trapped? Because of the concrete material, because of the congestion that is there. And therefore, whenever you are seeing the heat, comparing the heat of the nearby rural areas and in the urban areas, there will be a dome-like structure like this one. There will be a dome-like structure where the temperatures in the urban areas are more, where the insulation is one and the same, the temperatures here are less, temperatures here are more. And therefore, they are called as thermal islands, heat islands, thermal, nothing but heat islands. Also, they are called as urban heat islands, urban heat islands. This is what the urban heat island concept. What are the effective measures to deal with this phenomena? Reduce the concrete. How to reduce the concrete? Use the, to introduce? Very good. One is called as green belts. Then interlocking tiles. Instead of concrete tiles where the plastering is done with the cement, you can interlocking tiles. Okay. Meaning what? Infrastructural developments, sophisticated infrastructural. Then any other important point? You can talk about what is called as the solar sunroof techniques. What do you mean by sunroof techniques? Whatever the buildings that are constructed, entire building is being insulated with such a material where the short wave radiation, the moment once it comes, it should get reflected back in its original short wave form, which is called as albedo, increasing of albedo. Solar sunroof techniques are the otherwise called as the cool roof techniques. Cool roof techniques, gardening or green belts should be allowed, meaning what? The space should be allowed between the building and the building. And instead of using the complete concrete, you can make use of such type of building material, what it is called as the green architect material. Green architecture. What do you mean by green architecture? Nothing but using such type of material which is climate friendly or thermal friendly. These are the things where you need to do whenever there is a urban heat concept, right? This is the first one. The second one. This is the first one. The second one, let us go to the second one. With reference to the Transport and Communication Network of India, critically discuss Sagarmala project. Why this Sagarmala project came into picture? See this one, Sagarmala. There are two Mala programs that are developed. One is called as Bharatmala, and one is called as Sagarmala. What is Bharatmala? Construction of the road along the land boundary of the country. What is Sagarmala? Construction of the new greenfield and the brownfield ports in and around the coastal area of India. And not only construction of the port, connecting to the port with the hinterland, port development activities, development of the interiors because of the port, so that the export imports can be developed, the people can get financially well off, the entire region gets developed because of the port. These are the concepts, these are the very important strategies introduced in the Sagarmala. This Sagarmala has taken a oath that they are going to establish, they are going to construct the new 6 greenfield ports. One of such port got completed recently, and with this port, the number of major ports in India got enhanced from 12 to 13. What was the port that was nationalized by the Prime Minister of India, which was located just to the north of Bombay port, nationalized by the government of India, and right now it is having a very great traffic, it is holding very great cargo right now. It's called as Vadhwana port, that is located off the coast of Maharashtra. Right now Maharashtra got 3 ports, Tamil Nadu has got 3 major ports. There are 3 major ports in Tamil Nadu, there are 3 major ports in Maharashtra. This is how you can correlate. This is what the Sagarmala project. Then
UPSC Mains demands more than just knowledge, it requires the art of presenting that knowledge clearly, concisely, and convincingly on paper. Without the right approach, even well-prepared content can fall short. You need structured guidance to overcome bottlenecks and translate your preparation into well-structured, impactful answers. Visionai S present a specially curated offline and online masterclasses for answer writing in Delhi. It offers 5 focus sessions to build strong answer writing fundamentals, craft impactful introductions and conclusions, use examples, data and illustrations effectively, practice through live demonstrations, receive personalized feedback on evaluated assignments, learn proven strategies from UPSC toppers. Attend the free orientation on 18th August, with the classes starting from 19th August at 5 p.m.
Then, what are the key features of sex ratio of population in India? Evaluate the impacts of child sex ratio on the general sex ratio in India. This is a common, at the same time most what is called as expected question, because when the 2011 census came, at the point of time also same question was there. Again, when 2021 census are supposed to be released, definitely if the release of census was there, questions would have been asked. Now even today, recently, what was the news recently given by the National Census Commission? It said that the TFR, total fertility rate of India. See, this is a big news in India right now. The total fertility rate of India got reduced to 1.9 in India. What should be the scheduled, what should be the supposed TFR? 2.1. 2.1 is the desired total fertility rate. What is this total fertility rate? The ability of the women to give birth for the give birth for the children. If it is 2.1, then it is perfectly equal to the replacement ratio. What do you mean by replacement ratio? 2 parents needs to be replaced by 2 young children. When 2 parents are giving birth for the 2 children, once the parents dies, children will remain, replacing the parents. That is what the replacement concept. But recently, in the year 2023, we have seen a decline in the total fertility rates from 2.1 to 2.0. Within very short time of just 2 years, we again have seen a decline in the total fertility rate to 1.9, which is a great cause of concern. Meaning what? The ability of the women to give birth for 2 kids is getting reduced. Then what happens to the futuristic population? Get declines. That is the total with respect to the total population. But here, that is the current related. Maybe in the next year that can be a question, right? Remember this one. But here the question is with respect to the child sex ratio. How many girl childs are there with respect to 1,000 boy child? That is what the point. When it compares to the adult sex ratio, it is also adversely affected. Nothing but the female sex ratio is very less compared to male sex ratio. But the child sex ratio is further devastating in nature. The very sex ratio turns into adult sex ratio in the future. Therefore, there will be missing women, missing girl child. What do you mean by missing girl child? There is no counterpart for the male. When there is no counterpart for the male, they cannot make out a good family. That is what the condition. Specifically the states like Haryana, the states like Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, also the union territory like Jammu Kashmir. These are the 4 areas where the adverse child sex ratios are there. Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and Jammu Kashmir. Remember this one. This is with respect to child sex ratio. Whenever the child sex ratio is adverse, obviously the adult sex ratio also will be adverse. Then, explain the factors that contribute to the droughts in India with specific reference to food production, distribution, availability. Can Indian agriculture policies resolve the issue? If there is a question like, can India resolve? Obviously the answer should be double S. Yes, sir. Right? See, what do you mean by the drought in India? Drought is such type of condition where the water is not available for specific purposes. There are varieties of droughts like agricultural drought, meteorological drought, then agricultural drought, Then one more drought is there. These are the varieties of droughts are there. What do you mean by agricultural drought? Whatever the amount of water that is available or needed for one variety of crop, that amount of water is not available. But that very water is sufficient for the growth of other crops. Yet it is called as agricultural drought. When any specific product is cultivated in that area and the water is not sufficient, maybe paddy wants to be cultivated. How much of water should be present for paddy cultivation? Maybe 100 to 120, but the area is having 80 centimeters of water. Yet it is said to be called as agricultural drought with respect to paddy. Could understand that even though 80 centimeters of water is available, yet it is called as agricultural drought with respect to paddy. That very 80 centimeters is excess of water for the cultivation of the wheat. Yet it is said to be called as drought prone area. Right? Then another variety of drought called as meteorological drought. What is this meteorological drought? Whatever the area where the area is regularly receiving the rainfall, in that particular year, if the same amount of rainfall didn't happen, say for example, there is a area called as A area is receiving every year rainfall of maybe 70 centimeters. On that particular year, it has received only 60 centimeters of rainfall. It is said that that area is a drought prone area right now. And the drought is also measured with the index called as moisture index. In the classes, we will be giving the equation like, what is moisture index? Amount of water that is available minus by total average amount of water that should be present in that area into 100. That is what the moisture index. Based on calculation of the moisture index, you can announce any area as a drought prone area. Can India resolve such type of problems? Yes. Right now, the government of India has taken an oath under a challenge called as Bond Challenge. What is a Bond Challenge? Under the concept of UNCCD, United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, the challenge was taken by the government of India called as Bond Challenge. What is a Bond Challenge? The world countries have taken an oath to bring back minimum of 500 million hectares of land under the cultivable condition. And what is the India's contribution? India's contribution is 26 million hectares. We are committed by 2030, we are going to bring 26 million hectares of land under the cultivable condition. How? By increasing the water table, by increasing the water facility, by storing the water in that into the deep layers of the soil, so that we can bring back the degraded land, desertified land back under the cultivable condition. That is what the India's promise. When India has given the promise, and so India is implementing all sorts of programs in India in order to bring back the 26 million hectares of land under cultivable condition. This is what the concept of this particular question. Then, what are the? The question is specifically mentioning the agricultural drought only. See the question, again go back to the one. Explain the factors that contribute to the droughts in India. First of all, what are the factors that are contributing to the droughts in India with specific reduction to food production, right? With specific product. First of all, you need to talk about whatever I have explained just now. What is a drought? What are the varieties of droughts? What is a moisture index? You need to explain. Then you need to talk with respect to food production, nothing but agricultural drought. What may be the agricultural drought from one crop may not be agricultural drought for other crop. The best example, paddy and wheat, I have given the example just now. Then, can India agricultural policies resolve the issues? You need to mention the policies, whatever the policies that are implemented by the government of India, like Rashtriya Kisan Vikas Yojana, Rashtriya Krishi, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, more crop per drop, right? Like, more crop per crop, then more per paid, right? All these concepts, and urea, neem coated ureas, which you can reduce the water consumption by the crops, right? All these are the concepts where you need to give this one. Then, what are the causes and consequences of land degradation due to desertification? Again, just now we spoke about one challenge which is called as a Bond Challenge. See, the concept, when you know the concept, you can utilize in wherever it can fit. How to go for land degradation due to desertification. How to reduce the land degradation due to desertification? What do you mean by land degradation due to desertification? The expansion of desert areas. Desertification has been expanding in non-desert areas. When the desert conditions are expanding, the land in the neighboring area is getting degraded, which is called as degradation of the land due to desertification. For such areas, the type of policies the government of India has brought, like Aravali Green Belt on the lines of African Great Wall, Green Belt area, Great Wall of Africa, right? On the lines of Great Wall of Africa, Great Green Wall of Africa, Aravali Green Wall was implemented here in India in order to stop the spread of desert from the western to the eastern side. Also, the government of India has taken the oath under the Bond Challenge to bring back the desertified and degraded land. How many million hectares? 26 million hectares by 2030. What are the programs right now the government of India is implementing for bringing back the degraded land under the cultivable conditions? Like the land degradation and desertified programs are there. At the same time, there is another program which is called as a very important program which is implemented in the Indira Gandhi command area, in the command area program in that region, where the desertified lands are brought under the cultivable conditions. Then integrated land development programs. What is the source for all these things? What you need to do is, the source is Yojana and Kurukshetra. Whenever you are talking about the agricultural related aspects, specifically agriculture, irrigation, and some of the programs which are related to the ecological related programs, definitely you need to go through the Yojana and Kurukshetra magazines. When there is a regular study of Yojana and Kurukshetra, obviously you will be mastering such type of answers, right? Such type of questions, you can write the answers. Then, examine the validity of Blue Economy Initiative of India. Again, direct question. This Blue Economy Initiative was asked in the previous years in the case of environment and ecology in the paper 1. The same type of question is being replicated again here in the paper 2, right? Examine the validity of Blue Economy Initiative of India. Elaborate the impacts of this economy on the country's development. What do you mean by blue economy? Always the word blue is related to oceans. The blue economy, nothing but the economy which is related to the ocean development. Whenever you are going for the ocean related programs, like going for mangroves, going for the fisheries, going for tourism along the coastal areas, going for the extraction of or the production of energy from the water bodies. The best example, OTEC. Right now, the government of India is eyeing more on OTEC resources. What is this OTEC resource? Ocean thermal energy conversion. Very, very great potential is there in the entire coastal area of India. How this technology works? Because of the differences or the contrasting temperatures between the upper layers of the water body and the lower layers of the water body. Whenever there is a great contrast, great energy can be developed. And India, in the coastal area, the tropical waters, the surface waters are having high temperatures, lower layers are having cold temperatures. Because the contrasting temperatures where the greatest quantity of energy can be produced. And so, the government of India is eyeing specifically on OTEC energy. OTEC will be the future of Indian energy. This is what the government of India is talking about. See, this is a green energy. Instead of going for the burning of the coal or the crude oil, if at all you are converting the OTEC energy, then what else is required? The economic developments can be there. See, this is what the Blue Initiative. Not only this one, the government of India is going for in a great way with respect to the Great Nicobar project that can be connected to this one. because of logistic, because of the trade, that commerce that can be there in the major trading route. What is that major trading route? Accessibility accessibility to the Strait of Malacca, the Great Nicobar project. And so blue economy is going to be the futuristic economy in the development of India. This is how you can conclude the answer, right? This is related to the blue economy, nothing but the ocean related economy. Then the best one, where do you find majority of the settlements along the coastal areas? What is the ready food available? Fisheries. Fisheries also blue economy. Going for the aquaculture, blue economy. Going for increasing the mangrove forest, blue economy. Going for sustainable developments for the coastal communities, blue economy. There is an organization called, as you people must be knowing, there is an organization called as IUCN. In the economy, ecology will come across, environment and ecology. IUCN, International Union for Conservation of the Nature. IUCN has gone for a program called as Mangrove Fund for the Nature. What is this Mangrove Fund for the Nature? Asking the coastal communities to protect the coastal ecosystems so that the people can have some livelihood from the protection of the coastal ecosystem. When the people are having livelihood by the protection of the coastal ecosystem, obviously the people are more interested. When the community is participating, you can find the very great developments. Always any program becomes successful whenever the community participation takes place. When the community is made interested to enter into that particular conservation program, definitely there is no looking back. That is what the conclusion you need to give the one. Then the next one. While defining the green architecture, discuss its principles and challenges in response to climate change in India. Green architecture. Just now we spoke. What do you mean by green architecture? Using such type of building material which can reduce less electricity. Why to reduce less electricity? Whenever the heat energy is not entering into the home, need not to switch on AC for more duration. You need to reflect the heat energy of the sun outside. You need to allow the light energy of the sun to come inside. Whenever the light is falling inside, no need to switch on the light. When the light is coming, heat is going out, no need to switch off the AC. If at all you are switching off the AC for maybe some 15-20 minutes, it can store the coolness within the house for maybe within the area for maybe 1 hour. Earlier, when the heat energy is entering into the one, you need to continuously run the AC. This is the green architecture. Using such type of building material which can give challenge to the climate change, increasing temperatures, reducing the use of electricity, reducing the use of what is called as some energy within the house, making use of the sunlight directly. But you need to utilize the sunlight, but at the same time, the sunlight, see this one, sunlight is a combination of light and heat. You need to use the light, but you need to reduce the heat. You need to throw back the heat. Such type of, what are the challenges that are there in this type of architecture? High cost. The building material will be high cost. You need to use such type of bricks which can release the heat quickly, and so high cost again. The cost of manufacturing these products will be very high. This is what called as green architecture, maintaining the green lawns, maintaining the indoor plants, maintaining the green pastures in the surrounding areas, maintaining what is called as the green corridors, where you can find the in situ carbon absorption, meaning what? Zero carbon, whatever the what is called as carbon neutrality, whatever the carbon you are releasing in that household activity, that needs to be observed within the area. Therefore, the net carbon is zero. These are the techniques that are there in the green architecture. But the only challenge is the cost of production is very high. If we can bring such a technological innovations where the cost can be reduced, then there is no chance of talking about the challenges in the green architecture, right? This is about the green architecture and the challenges that are there in India. Then, with reference to the typical examples, assess why regional planning in India is important for island territories for their sustainable development. I mentioned one program called as Island Development Agency under the chairmanship of Home Minister. See this one, regional planning. What do you mean by regional planning? Planning to one that particular specific region only. Because whenever you are talking about the plan for the entire India or for the entire state, it may not cater the needs of specific region, specifically islands. Because whatever the challenges, what are the opportunities that are present in Andaman Nicobar, they are not the same challenges and the opportunities in the Lakshadweep. Whatever the threats that are there in the Lakshadweep cannot be the same threats in the Andaman Nicobar. And so, for each and every unique region, there must be unique planning, taking into consideration of unique conditions that are prevailing in that area. See the case of Lakshadweeps. Lakshadweeps are the shallow water islands with a rich biodiversity, very, very rich biodiversity. At the same time, the waters are very clear water. There, the type of developmental activity like transportation, international transportation, you should not develop. The planning should be done in such a way that where the tourism can be developed, that is a pristine water. Whereas you can use that same transportation, logistic conditions in the case of Andaman Nicobar, because the waters are not that much pristine than that of the Lakshadweep. Moreover, the salt content in the Andaman Nicobar is less when compared to Lakshadweep. The salt of the water is less, and so based upon the uniqueness of the region, you need to bring unique plans, unique planning in that area so that the development can be there. Ultimately, what is the need of the hour is how to make the area developed. What are the possible ways? Like you can go for the coral products, the development of the coral products, the pearl cultivation. Do you know this one? Nowadays, the pearl culture is there. What do you mean by pearl culture? Just like agriculture, pearls are being cultured. Where the pearl culture is can happen on a great scale in the Lakshadweep. Pearl culture, production of pearls artificially. Also, you can find some of the other things like the shells, unique quantities of the shells are being preserved there. And tourism is the biggest what is called as the hope for the Lakshadweep. On lines of Maldives, right? On the lines of Maldives, you can develop the Lakshadweeps. The same type of activities may not be cultivated or may not be introduced in the Andaman Nicobar. Andaman Nicobar should be having its own unique policy, maybe specific policy for Andaman, specific policy for Nicobar, because whenever comparing the Andaman and Nicobar, Nicobar is much more less developed, very less developed than that of the Andamans. Andamans, the northern islands, are highly developed compared to the Nicobar, highly developed, not in terms of the mainland India, but with respect to the Nicobar. Even today in the Nicobar, you can find the accessibility for the people is not there. The transportation lines are not there. The infrastructure has not developed. Even forget about the other infrastructure. Transportation facilities are not there. If you get stuck up in one of the island, you need to wait for boat when it will be coming, maybe after 2 days or 3 days. Schools are not there. The tribal people are not interested to go for schools. These are all the bottlenecks for this area. But whereas comparing the socio-economic development with respect to the Lakshadweep, Lakshadweep is far developed. Socially, which is more developed? Lakshadweep. Economically, which is more developed? Lakshadweep, the people of Lakshadweep. Where you can find, films are being shooted. Even the people are interested in acting. They are more economically, socially developed than that of the tribal people, because there are no tribes there in Lakshadweep. Here you can find the good number of tribes. Inaccessibility is there. And here in Lakshadweep, many of the islands are not inhabited. Whatever the islands that are being habitated, the people are developed. The literacy rate, when compared to the literacy rate of Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep, where do you find very greatest literacy? 96% of the people are literate there, Lakshadweep. And so, socially developed, economically developed. Therefore, a unique plan should be there for Lakshadweep, not for, means what? The separate plan. The same plan cannot be implemented in the Andamans. This is what you need to differentiate, right? Unique plans for unique regions. Then, with reference to the international boundaries of India, discuss the related issues, giving suitable examples. Again, very, very important and a very common question. The moment once we talk about the Indian geography, India and the neighborhood, even the GS will talk about this one. What type of relations are there with the India? India, Pakistan. India, China. India, Bangladesh. India, Sri Lanka. India, Myanmar. With only one country we are having somewhat, good and cordial relations. India, Bhutan. Right? What are the bottlenecks? Means what type of issues are there? Let us talk about each and every country, like, issues like the land dispute between China and India, LAC, Arunachal Pradesh, the central sector, western sector, eastern sector, and the middle sector. What is the eastern sector? Arunachal Pradesh entirely claimed by those fellows. In the western sector, LAC has become the point of, it's called as acceptant boundary there. The part on the other side, Aksai Chin, originally belongs to us, but they are claiming, they are forget about claiming, they are there right now. And in the middle sector, Uttarakhand region, again the areas are being disputed. In the maps of China, they say that the Uttarakhand region, the northernmost part entirely belongs to there. The district like Chamba belongs to them. That is what the map of China shows. That is with China. Right now, thanks to this fellow called as Trump, where we and China are becoming close to each other, SCO summit, right? Coming to Pakistan, no need to talk about Pakistan. There is no much cordial relationship. Kashmir is the biggest issue. Sir Creek is another issue. Then you can find some of the territory which was ceded to China, whose land, ours land, occupied by that fellow, and that fellow has given gift to some other country. Whose property is being gifted to whom, right? This is what the issues. Then comes to Sri Lanka, again a number of problems. Thanks to the economic deprivation that happened in Sri Lanka, right now they are silent. Or else, the issues, like there were the issues of Tamil migration, where the Tamilians were not given due importance there, and all these things are there. And also, for the first time, India has filed a complaint in the United Nations against the Sri Lanka peacekeeping, where the peace is not been, where the Mr. Prabhakaran become the son. If the LTD has killed Prabhakaran, that is not an issue. The son of Prabhakaran, who happens to be just 12 years kid, was killed at the point blank range. A defeat of human rights. Then Nepal, see the Kalapani issue. The river called as Kali river is keep on shifting, and Kalapani post went into the control of Nepal. Now we are there, and Nepal is asking to get out. Mahadeshi's issue. The people who are from the Bihar, they are migrating, and Nepal people are asking to get out. This is another one. Again, the tribal issues that are there. Also, you can find other issues like Myanmar. With Myanmar, what are the important issues? In fact, recently the junta government was invited to India, and we also went to Myanmar. Right now, the relations are becoming stronger. Good relations are there. Like one of the very important project called as multimodal project, called as Kaladan multimodal project. Also, you can find the GCC summit, Ganga Mekong cooperation, Ganga GMC program, Ganga Mekong cooperation. These are the important things. Then with respect to the Bangladesh, the finger-like projections that are there, the land swapping agreement. Then Ulfa, now no more there is an issue right now, Ulfa and Sulfa. Right, that is already a subsided issue. These are all the challenges that are there, right? With suitable examples, whatever the examples that are there, we can give the examples there. Meaning what? Almost all entire paper is doable. But for the first question, whenever the first question is tough, entire paper will be doable. When the first question is somewhat easy, don't keep any such psychological impression in the mind. But everything can be in the paper too, specifically we can get more marks, provided if you are having a broad framework, broad picture, right? This is with respect to the paper too, right? Azab nahi hua? Huh? See, always, the broader picture should be there in the mind. Whenever the broader picture is there, you can do the things good. In the initial time period, whenever you are listening, maybe you have joined for the first time, you have joined in the means what, without having the GS background, some of the people may be there. For them it becomes difficult, but once you are completing your geography GS, then it should be a good understanding. And for those people who completed their optional coaching, it should be a cakewalk for them. Right? See the three categories. Those who are sitting here without the GS knowledge, for them it becomes a way. For those people who have completed GS, at least understandable, if not writable. For those people who completed your optional, it should be a cakewalk for you. Right? This is the trend. Is it clear? Take care of yourselves. See you in the classes. Until then, Jai Hind.